The Buddha once taught, "Your mind shapes your reality." In a world that constantly imposes expectations on how we should think, feel, and act, imagine possessing the power to find unwavering peace and happiness, independent of external circumstances. This is not just a concept. It is a transformation. The path to true fulfillment is not found in controlling the world, but in understanding and mastering the mind. The teachings of the Buddha illuminate the way, showing us resilience, gratitude, and the profound art of living with wisdom. This is not just an abstract lesson. It is about you, about how you navigate this very moment. The world around us is chaotic, full of distractions, pressures, and fleeting desires. Yet, even in the storm, there exists a space of calm. The key is not in avoiding the turbulence, but in grounding yourself amidst it. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we resist the impermanence of life. So, instead of waking up dreading the day ahead, what if you saw each morning as a new beginning, a fresh opportunity to cultivate mindfulness and joy? This is not merely about routines. It is about presence. You are here because you seek more than surface-level existence. You seek meaning, depth, and clarity. Your presence here already sets you apart, marking you as someone who desires wisdom and transformation. So, absorb these teachings fully, open your heart to them, and let this be the moment where you step into a life of greater purpose and self-awareness. In Buddhism, there is a concept called Dharma, our path, our truth, and the natural order that aligns us with the greater good. This is not about chasing desires or external validation, but about uncovering a deeper purpose, one that goes beyond personal gain and connects us to something larger. Imagine waking up each morning with clarity, knowing that your existence serves a meaningful role in the unfolding fabric of life. But how do we uncover this purpose? The Buddha taught that wisdom begins with self-inquiry. Ask yourself, what brings me a sense of deep fulfillment? What abilities come naturally to me? How can I serve others in a way that aligns with my highest self? The answers may not come instantly, but the act of questioning itself is the path. When you move through life with mindful intention, even the smallest actions gain significance. Living with Dharma is not about grand gestures. It is about the way you show up in each moment. This is not just a theory. It is a way of life. When you live with purpose, your relationships deepen, your creativity flourishes, and your inner peace becomes stable. So as you set your alarm for tomorrow morning, consider this: what will I wake up for? The Buddhist path is not about quick transformations. It is about gradual, mindful evolution, one moment at a time. The Buddha taught that every action carries intention. If we wish for clarity in our mornings, we must prepare the night before. Consider this: what if your evenings became a sacred transition, a time to release the burdens of the day and plant the seeds for tomorrow's peace? A mindful evening is not about restriction. It is about self-care. Reducing screen time before bed is not about deprivation, but about creating space for the mind to settle. Setting an intention for the next day is not just planning. It is a quiet act of alignment, ensuring that your actions move in harmony with your deepest values. These small, deliberate choices create a foundation for a life of wisdom and peace. And stillness is a practice, not a luxury. A few moments of deep breathing or meditation before sleep is not just relaxation. It is a sacred act of resetting. Each breath is an opportunity to let go, to surrender the mind's restlessness, to embrace rest as a form of renewal. In a world that constantly demands more, choosing stillness is an act of wisdom, an act of self-compassion. Now, picture the first moments of your morning before the world reaches you. No emails, no notifications, just you, your breath, and the quiet presence of a new day. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment, from grasping at things we cannot control. But in the stillness of the morning, before the world dictates your focus, you have the opportunity to anchor yourself, to create your own sense of peace before stepping into the flow of the day. The way you begin your morning shapes the energy you carry forward. Instead of reaching for external distractions, reach inward. Instead of immediately responding to the outside world, cultivate gratitude. Instead of allowing life to dictate your emotions, decide with clarity how you will engage with it. This is the Buddhist way, not an escape from reality but a conscious, awakened presence within it. Creating a mindful morning is not about adding more to your plate. It is about removing what does not serve you. It is about simplifying, focusing, and cultivating presence. Challenges will come, and that is inevitable. But how you meet them is determined by the foundation you build each morning. The path of awakening is not about instant enlightenment. It is about small, consistent choices. Waking up at the same time each day might seem trivial, but it is a practice of self-discipline and presence. It is a declaration that you are not controlled by fleeting desires but guided by deep intention. It is a reminder that each morning is a new beginning. But let's be honest, consistency is difficult. And that is okay. The Buddha never taught perfection. He taught practice. There will be mornings when the bed feels warmer, when old habits whisper, when resistance arises. The key is not in avoiding these moments but in meeting them with awareness. Do not judge yourself. Simply return to the path again and again. Becoming a morning person is not about productivity. It is about presence. It is about waking with a sense of purpose, carrying clarity throughout the day, and ending the night in peace. So set an intention. Create a space of stillness. Gift yourself the power of mindfulness. And when the morning comes, rise, not just from your bed but into the fullness of your being. Instead of reaching for distractions first thing in the morning, anchor yourself in the present moment. Savor the peace, the stillness, and the boundless potential that each morning holds. Every new day is an opportunity, a chance to live more intentionally, more mindfully, and more aligned with the person you aspire to be. Let your mornings be a reflection of your deepest values, a sacred time to cultivate clarity and purpose. The Buddha taught that true happiness is not found in external circumstances, but in the way we train our minds. When we approach each morning with wisdom, we step onto the path of transformation. The great Buddhist masters understood that a meaningful life is not about enduring hardships passively, but about actively shaping our own minds and actions. Waking up with discipline is more than just a habit. It is a declaration that you are in control of your life, not ruled by passing cravings or external forces. The Buddha taught that lasting peace comes from steady, mindful effort. Just as a tree does not grow strong in a day, spiritual growth happens step by step, breath by breath, with patience and unwavering intention. Waking up at the same time each morning may seem like a small act, but it is the foundation upon which discipline and inner stability are built. Imagine beginning your day not in chaos, not in a rush, but with purpose and control. Yet, as with any practice, the path of consistency is not without its challenges. In the early days of cultivating a morning discipline, resistance will arise. The warmth of your bed will seem more tempting than your commitment to wakefulness. This is where the practice of perseverance comes in, overcoming momentary desires for the sake of a deeper truth. This discipline is not just about the morning itself, but about the qualities it nurtures within you: resilience, focus, and unwavering intention. Every time you rise with determination, you reinforce the strength of your will. Every time you push past fleeting comfort for long-term growth, you align with the teachings of the Buddha. He reminded us that the path to liberation requires effort. It is not an overnight transformation, but a gradual unfolding. Each morning is an opportunity to practice, an invitation to meet the day with awareness, not resistance. So how do we make consistency our ally? Start by setting an intention the night before. Reflect on why waking up early matters to you. Is it to create space for meditation? To greet the day with clarity? To cultivate a deeper sense of discipline? When the Buddha spoke of right intention, he taught that every action must be rooted in purpose. Clarity in intention leads to clarity in action. Before sleep, visualize your morning. Align yourself with the commitment you are making, not just to wake up, but to wake up with awareness. Create an environment that supports this commitment. Just as monks prepare their meditation spaces with care, set up your surroundings in a way that encourages wakefulness. Sleep early, ensuring your body is rested. Keep your curtains slightly open so natural light can gently wake you. Place your alarm where you must physically rise to turn it off, reinforcing the choice to meet the morning with alertness. When the moment of resistance comes, as it inevitably will, remind yourself that you are not just starting another day, you are reinforcing a life of mindful discipline. But amidst all this talk of discipline, remember one essential truth. You are human. The mind naturally seeks the path of least resistance, drawn to ease and immediate comfort. This is not a flaw. It is the nature of the human experience. The Buddha taught that craving and aversion are the roots of suffering, and overcoming them requires patience and wisdom. Do not see the struggle as failure but as part of the process. Resistance is not a barrier, it is the very thing that strengthens you. Self-compassion is as important as discipline. The Buddha often reminded his disciples to treat themselves with kindness and to recognize their imperfections not as obstacles but as opportunities to grow. There will be mornings when you falter, when you hit snooze, when the weight of sleep pulls you back under. In those moments, do not let self-criticism consume you. Instead, breathe. Forgive yourself. Begin again. The practice is not about perfection. It is about returning again and again to the path. Building a new habit is like tending a garden. In the early days, the seeds were fragile, easily uprooted by the winds of old habits. Your bed will call to you, and the temptation to stay in comfort will whisper in your mind. Some days you will give in. That is okay. The question is, what will you do next? Will you let guilt and self-judgment cloud your path? Or will you recognize the moment for what it is? Another opportunity to begin again. The Buddha taught that failure is not falling down, but refusing to rise. Strength and wisdom do not come from harsh discipline alone but from balance, understanding when to push forward, and when to be gentle with yourself. The mind, like the body, must be trained with patience. Each morning is another chance to cultivate this balance, to refine your practice, and to grow in awareness. The true path of self-mastery is not about rigid control, but about walking the middle way, between discipline and kindness, between effort and ease. Every new day is a fresh beginning. With it comes challenges but also opportunities. It is in this daily renewal that we find our strength, our resilience, and our capacity to grow. Embrace the early hours not just as a habit, but as a practice of transformation. Celebrate your small victories. Learn from your setbacks. Approach each morning with a heart willing to try again. The Buddha never taught perfection. He taught presence. And presence is something you cultivate moment by moment, day by day. Consider the simple act of placing your alarm across the room. It may seem insignificant, but it is an act of commitment, a choice to rise despite the comfort of the bed's embrace. It is a small but powerful statement, a declaration of your intention to meet the morning with mindfulness. Similarly, making your bed may feel trivial, but it is not just about neatness. It is a practice of care, a reminder that your space, like your mind, deserves attention and order. These small rituals shape the way you approach your day and, over time, shape the way you approach your life. Small actions build great habits. The Buddha taught that transformation happens in the details of daily life, in the small decisions we make, and in the choices we repeat. Discipline is not built in a single act of willpower but in the accumulation of mindful moments. Every time you choose order over chaos, every time you choose presence over distraction, every time you choose to rise rather than retreat, you are forging the person you are becoming. Why focus on these small acts? Because they are within your control. The external world is unpredictable and full of uncertainty and change. But how you begin your day, how you care for your space, how you meet each moment, these are choices you can make. The Buddhist path is one of acceptance and effort, of surrendering to what we cannot control while fully engaging with what we can. These practices are not just about discipline. They are about cultivating a mind that is prepared for all of life's challenges. If you can commit to these small daily acts, you train yourself to uphold your commitments in larger areas. You sharpen your ability to follow through, to remain steady amidst uncertainty, and to move through life with calm and clarity. The quiet of the morning is where discipline is forged. It is in these early hours when you make the conscious choice to rise, to face the day with intention, that your character is shaped. These small habits are not just routines. They are rituals, infusing your life with order, purpose, and mindfulness. When you wake tomorrow, rise not just from your bed, but into your own awareness, your own potential, and your own path to enlightenment. Sharing your goals with someone who not only supports you but also holds you accountable can greatly enhance your ability to follow through. It transforms what might feel like a solitary journey into a shared path, making the discipline of a mindful morning routine and, ultimately, your life's purpose more attainable and rewarding. In Buddhism, the concept of kalyamita or spiritual friendship emphasizes the importance of surrounding ourselves with those who uplift us, remind us of our intentions, and encourage us when we falter. Your accountability partner is not just a supporter but a reflection of your commitment to growth. Someone who can gently guide you back to the path when the temptation of comfort calls. They will be there when waking up feels difficult, when motivation wanes, and when the journey seems long. Their presence is a reminder that self-discipline is not just a personal endeavor, but one that is enriched by community. This relationship is reciprocal, built on mutual encouragement, honesty, and the shared pursuit of self-improvement. The Buddha taught that wisdom is cultivated not only through solitary reflection but also through learning from one another. When we walk this path with others, we find strength in knowing that we are not alone. An accountability partner helps us see what we may overlook in ourselves. They offer new insights, perspectives, and constructive guidance that can lead to growth in unexpected ways. This partnership is not just about checking off a list of tasks, but about engaging in meaningful conversations about what is working, what is not, and how we can refine our approach. True mindfulness is not about rigid adherence to routines, but about continual learning, adapting, and refining our practice. So how do you find such a partner? Seek someone who shares your dedication to self-improvement. Could be a friend, a mentor, or even a colleague. The key is trust. someone with whom you can be completely honest about your aspirations and challenges. Once you find that person, clearly communicate your goals and what kind of support you need. Set regular check-ins, be open to their feedback, and, in turn, offer them the same level of encouragement. This is not about external motivation alone, but about forming a connection that nurtures both of you. The Buddha taught that the Sangha, the spiritual community, is essential on the path to awakening. In this shared space, your morning routines and larger life goals intertwine, creating an environment of growth, self-awareness, and purpose. Reflecting on impermanence is a practice deeply ingrained in Buddhism. The Buddha taught that everything is transient, our possessions, our relationships, our very existence. To remember this truth is not to be morbid, but to awaken fully to the present. Every morning, when we open our eyes, we are granted a new opportunity to engage with life meaningfully, to contribute, to evolve, and to leave behind something of value. When we integrate this understanding into our daily lives, we transform the way we approach each day. It is not just another morning, it is a gift, a chance to live with mindfulness, to act with kindness, to deepen our practice, and to align with our highest values. This realization changes how we spend our time, the connections we nurture, and the legacy we build. It urges us to love deeply, to live fully, and to leave the world better than we found it. This reflection on impermanence also helps us develop resilience. When we remember that time is limited, the frustrations and inconveniences of daily life lose their power over us. We no longer waste energy on small irritations, but instead focus on our long-term aspirations. This mindset fosters gratitude for the present moment and reminds us to make the most of it. But how can we integrate this awareness into our daily lives? It begins each morning with a moment of contemplation. Before stepping into the rush of the day, pause. See the day ahead as a blank canvas, an opportunity to create meaning. Ask yourself, if this were my last day, would I be proud of how I am choosing to spend it? This is not an invitation to live in fear of death, but rather a reminder to appreciate the now, to embrace the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to love. When we remember the impermanence of life, we are not focusing on its end, but on the immense potential of each moment. It is a powerful antidote to complacency, a reminder that each morning is a sacred chance to craft a life of depth and virtue. We are often encouraged to focus on the positive, to visualize success and happiness as a way to attract them into our lives. But in their wisdom, Buddhist teachings suggest another approach, one rooted in preparation, resilience, and a deeper appreciation of the present. Negative visualization is not about pessimism, but about strengthening the mind, reducing fear, and cultivating peace. It involves periodically imagining potential difficulties, not to dwell in anxiety, but to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for the inevitable ups and downs of life. This practice can range from envisioning minor inconveniences, like a disrupted schedule, to larger hardships, like the loss of a loved one. The purpose is not to obsess over these scenarios, but to develop equanimity. When such events do arise, we are not caught off guard. We have already mentally rehearsed how to meet them with wisdom, patience, and understanding. By reflecting on the temporary nature of all things, we learn to let go of attachment, freeing ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Integrating this practice into your morning routine can change how you approach the day. Instead of stepping into the world unprepared, you cultivate mental resilience. It is like strengthening a muscle. By mentally rehearsing difficult situations, you become more adaptable, less shaken by adversity, and more capable of meeting challenges with clarity. Paradoxically, this practice also enhances gratitude. When we take a moment to imagine life without something or someone we cherish, We return to the present with renewed appreciation. We see the richness of what we have, the relationships we hold dear, and the simple joys that are often overlooked. So how do we practice this in a way that is constructive rather than fear-inducing? Take a few moments each morning to contemplate potential challenges, not with dread but with calm awareness. Visualize how you would respond, what wisdom you would call upon, and how you could learn from the experience. Then, let go of the visualization and move forward with your day, carrying with you both preparedness and gratitude. Ending the day with gratitude is just as powerful as beginning it with mindfulness. Keeping a gratitude journal is a simple yet profound way to shift our perspective. Taking a moment before sleep to reflect on what we are thankful for, whether it be a kind word, a beautiful sunset, or a small victory, shifts our focus from what is lacking to the abundance that is already present. This aligns with Buddhist teachings, which emphasize appreciating what is within our control rather than craving what is not. Why close the day with gratitude? Because it ensures that, no matter what challenges the day brings, we end on a note of positivity. It is a reminder that, even in difficulty, there is something to be grateful for. This practice influences not just how we sleep but how we wake up, transforming our first thoughts from resistance to appreciation. It also strengthens our relationships, making us more aware of the kindness of others, more willing to express our appreciation, and more connected to the world around us. As we reflect on these practices, mindful mornings, accountability, contemplation of impermanence, mental preparation, and gratitude, we see that they are not just techniques but pathways to a more intentional, resilient, and awakened life. Embracing them does not mean every day will be perfect, but it does mean that we will meet each day with greater clarity, strength, and gratitude. This is only the beginning. The wisdom of the Buddha offers a vast ocean of insight, ready to guide you toward deeper fulfillment and purpose. If you found value in these teachings and wish to continue your journey, I invite you to explore more. Let us walk this path together, cultivating wisdom, resilience, and peace. May each morning be filled with purpose, each day lived with intention, and each moment embraced with gratitude.